Hi, thanks for stopping by. I'm your dizzy dude, Adam Tilted, and I've been thinking about the solstice. But first, I'm going to show you something. This is the Aurora Borealis, or you might have heard of them as the Northern Lights. This picture was taken in Alaska. The aurora are caused by subatomic particles from the sun interacting with our atmosphere. So we have a magnetic field that surrounds the Earth and protects us from a lot of those subatomic radiation. But at the poles, where the magnetic field meets the poles, some of those follow that and get into the atmosphere. And that excites the oxygen and the nitrogen and causes all these really cool colors. It's on my bucket list to see this one day. Okay, so let's talk about the solstice. The Earth orbits at a tilt. That's the first thing we need to understand. If you look at this globe, you can see it's at a tilt. It's about a 23-degree angle. And this is what causes the seasons. The sun is hitting one part of the Earth, whichever part is tilted toward it is hitting it more face on. And that's summer for that part of the Earth. And then when it goes around the other way, on the other side of the sun, the other side of the Earth is tilted towards the sun. In this case, the northern hemisphere, and that's summer in the northern hemisphere and winter in the southern hemisphere. So you have to understand that before you can understand solstice. And let's take a look at our simulation in solar system scope. And you can see Earth here the shadow is a little tilted. Actual time, you can see where the sun is shining directly on is in the Pacific Ocean. We're going to go back to June. Now in June, you can see that at noon, the northern hemisphere, the United States, is more directly pointed towards the sun. That is our summer. By the way, if you don't mind sharing this video, that would be great. Also, if you could give it a love, that would be awesome. Here is the Earth in June. And so I'm going to move it up, and you can see how the tilt of the Earth changes as the days and months go by. So now we're in August, September, October, November, December. What's happened is as the Earth is orbiting the sun at that tilt, but now we've reached the point in the orbit where we are tilted as far back as we're going to be, and we're going to start tilting back towards the sun. The solstice was last week, so you probably heard about it. It's the shortest day of the year for the winter solstice for us in the northern hemisphere. So this is the day we get the shortest amount of sunlight. We're tilted as far back as we're going to get, and from now forward, every day will be longer than the day before, and we'll be tilted slightly more towards the sun. We can get that full warmth from the sun. There are thousands and thousands of ancient artifacts and ancient constructions that are based on the solstice. The most famous is probably Stonehenge. Stonehenge is arranged so that on the winter solstice, which was last week, the sunset aligns with some of the rocks. And then on the summer solstice, the sunrise aligns with the rocks. In most cultures, the winter solstice It was celebrated as the time of the rebirth of the sun. You know, the short days were gone, the longer days were coming back. That was the rebirth of the sun. It kind of makes sense that Christians were able to weave their celebrations of the birth of Jesus into this season, because a lot of people were celebrating rebirth and new beginning, and it was a energetic and exciting time because winter was on its way out. Another structure that was designed around the solstice is Chitosan Itza in Mexico. And this is a photograph that I took myself. I've been there. On the winter solstice, it looks like the sun is climbing the west side of the pyramid and then stops at the top. There's a temple at the top of the pyramid. It stops there at the top momentarily, and that represents the rebirth, the resurrection of the divine sun. So that's interesting, and it seems like most every culture, that theme is consistent around the world. Solstice happens twice a year. June 21st, December 21st. Whether it's a winter solstice or a summer solstice depends on which hemisphere you're in. In the northern hemisphere, we just passed our winter solstice. To my friends in the southern hemisphere, Hyperjetty, hi Ferg, they just passed the summer solstice. So their days will be getting shorter from now on, while our days will be getting longer. That also means that our days will be getting warmer, but not right away. And I'm going to talk about that in a future episode. I wanted to take a moment to thank my sponsors. My generous sponsors this month. You have made it possible for me to access the telescopes to get some pictures. You've also helped me upgrade some of my simulation software, so thank you to my sponsors. If you would like to become a sponsor of the show and help me cover the cost of bringing you this content, you can do that at patreon.com/AdamTilted. Donate as little or as much as you like. Every little bit really does help. Makes a big difference. I'm excited about the longer days. How are you going to spend your longer days? Put it in the comments. Kind of bums me out when it's dark so early in the day. Thank you for stopping by and thinking with the Dizzy Dude. If you have questions or comments or suggestions for a future thought, send me a message. I'm your Dizzy Dude, Adam Tilted, signing off. And until next time, don't forget to look up.